We are live, and in a shocking turn of events, it looks like President Trump selected a brand new Fed chair. And I'm a little bit, I am actually shocked about this because I thought it was going to be Rick Ryder, not Kevin Warsh. However, I like his name Warsh because I know a lot of people that when they try to say Walsh, they say Warsh. Anyways, that's just like a weird thing that popped into my head. But we're going to talk about crypto because Bitcoin and everything seem to have dumped. A lot of people think that this has to do with there's market manipulation, what's going on with the Fed, everything in between. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the top stories. We're going to talk about what's happening with the government shutdown. Are we going to get shut down? Are we not going to get shut down? Really, what is actually happening? Silver also saw a 20% decline. And again, we're talking about big market caps. And when you take a look at stocks and commodity equities, all that type of stuff, you don't really see 20% pullbacks in 24 hours. You see like 3 to 5%, maybe even 10%, but 20% is a lot. And that's why a lot of people pivoted to crypto because of that volatility. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Welcome back to the O Show, everything crypto, every single day. I'm WendyO. And yeah, we're going to talk about it. We're going to see if we're going to get any type of crypto market legislation that's going to come out. Again, the government is supposed to shut down on the 31st. There's a lot of back and forth with that. So we're definitely going to discuss it. Shout out to Lawrence. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat. Shout out to Mike, to Mr. R, to Gumby, to Cherry. Mr. R, who else? I'm like really tired, you guys. To Chipper, I drink 2 cups of coffee and I had my vitamin B and I'm just like crashing. Maybe it's because I did like hot Pilates last night. I have no idea, but I'm tired. And also my kid didn't sleep again, or I didn't sleep last night. She slept fine. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. It's Friday and I'm going to be offline all weekend. Well, I'm still going to be posting video for you guys, but I'm not going to be like on the feed because it's annoying. It is annoying. But anyways, let's get into what's happening. All right. So this comes from True Social. Apparently, Trump announced that he's nominating Kevin Warsh to be the chairman of the board of the governors of the Federal Reserve System. He serves as the Shepherd Family Distinguished Visiting Fellow in Economics at the Hoover University. I don't care about all of these. I don't care about all these grand titles for people. I don't. One of the reasons why, yes, like back in the day, it used to be prestigious to get into somewhere like Stanford or Harvard or whatnot. Like you had to work your behind off. Now in 2026, 2025, or you had money. Now it's just a mess. So again, college is important. I'm not saying that it's not important. You don't have to go to college to be successful, but college is not what it used to be. Like you really used to have to work hard. Like they would not just let anybody into college. You actually had to be intelligent. And of course, some other stuff that happened, but it's completely different than the way that it was. And like a lot of the degrees are just ridiculous. And again, a lot of these people, the ivory towers that are making monetary policy, I'm not a fan of. Also, shout out to Kenny for the $10 super chat. Thank you. He's also an O Army member. And you guys have been showing up hard for me the last couple weeks. Our views were topping off. We're climbing past, I think the most views I've ever gotten in a month period was 1.2 million. We're currently going to break that for the last 30 days. So we could break that. Be very excited, and I thank you guys so much because technically we're in a bear market, which we'll talk about that with Bitcoin. But let's get back into Kevin Warsh. Who is he? What's going on with him? And why does this matter? It does matter because we no longer have Jerome Powell, and even though Powell was put under power or was put into office under Trump, he was a hot mess. Now, this letter over here from the Cobb letter, which I love them, but they give a really nice summary of who Kevin Warsh is. Youngest Fed governor in the history during the 2008 financial crisis. Said the Fed waited too long to raise interest rates in 2022. Said the Fed lost credibility by overstimulating post-panorama. Said QE inflates asset bubbles and worsens inequality. I agree with him there. Claims to support a rules-based Fed, not discretionary policymaking. Wants a smaller Fed balance sheet and more focus on price stability. I agree with a lot of the stuff that he's saying. Do I agree with everything he says? No. I will never agree with anything everybody says because then that would make me uneducated and that would make me, I would lack critical thinking and I would be stupid. I don't think it's a good idea to agree with anybody always, all the time. It just is weird to me. Like there's got to be some things where you can't, you got to disagree on. Like you got to. Like you guys are going to come for me, but I am a big believer. I like pineapple on pizza. As a Sicilian American, I like it. And I know people are going to disagree with me. And a lot of you guys will disagree with me. And that's totally fine. But it's like a sweet treat. I'm a savory girly. Like, I love salt. Like, I made eggs this morning. I put a lot of salt on them. But I'm a savory girly. And I like that sweet and sour. I don't know. It just tastes so good. It tastes like candy to me. I love it. Anyways, though, see what we mean? We're going to get you guys to argue with me. I'm going to say something that's essentially rage bait. I'm going to get a lot of people that are going to be pressed in the mentions. That's okay. And that just goes to show that you have critical thinking skills and that you're not afraid to disagree with me. And you should disagree with me, just as long as it's just respectful. So there's that. Some of the stuff. This over here, this comes from CoinDesk. Here's why the Fed contender Kevin Warsh is seen as bearish for Bitcoin. And we're going to talk about Bitcoin price action in a second. So hold on, okay? So according to CoinDesk, Warsh is seen as hawkish, favoring monetary discipline, higher real rates, and tighter liquidity. Analysts say this outlook is bearish for Bitcoin, which tends to struggle when easy money is withdrawn. Bitcoin fell as Warsh odds rose in the prediction market yesterday. I think that I don't think this is why Bitcoin dropped. I think 4-year cycles are real. Still, I think they are, or there's some heavy type of manipulation. Either way, I'm an entertainer. I don't give price predictions anymore. I don't really do share my positions because people get mad. And then it stresses me out and I make less money. So I'm an entertainer. I'm here to bring you to the news. I'm here to push you to critically think. And I'm here to, help you make money for yourself. So that's what they said. That's what CoinDesk said, apparently probably to the Economist. But here's a video that was posted from my buddies over at Altcoin Daily. I stole it from them because I steal everything. No, I don't steal everything. I saw it on X and I thought it was good. But the new Fed chair is pro-Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and hear it.
You made reference to Bitcoin, and I thought I heard a little bit of condescension that people are buying Bitcoin in these things.
But doesn't it, Charlie Munger, this is 2-3 years before he died, Charlie Munger attacked Bitcoin. He called it evil, in part because it would begin to undermine the Fed's ability to manage the economy.
Or it could provide market discipline. Or it could tell the world that things need to be fixed.
Bitcoin does not make you nervous.
Bitcoin does not make me nervous. I can harken back to a dinner I had here in 2011 with someone who is another guest on your show. I won't say his name. I just did Mark Andreessen, who showed me the white paper. That was the original white paper. I wish I had understood as clearly as he did how transformative Bitcoin and this new technology would be. Bitcoin doesn't trouble me. I think of it as an important asset that can help inform policymakers when they're doing things right and wrong. It is not a substitute to the dollar. I think it can often be a very good policeman for policy. And if I were to speak more broadly to what did Charlie Munger and others perhaps have in mind, there is a proliferation of securities that go under all sorts of names. Many, if not most of them, are not worth what they might be being traded for. So what did Charlie say, and maybe his pal Warren say? There's the innovators, the imitators, and the incompetents. They're real innovators that are happening in and around that new technology. And what I would try to impart towards businesses and bankers is that the underlying technology that Mark showed me in that white paper, or tried to show me in that white paper, it's just software. It's just the newest, coolest software that will provide us an ability to do things that we could never have done before. Can the software be used for good and evil? Yes, both, like all software. So I don't cast aspersions like that. If there's a final point, it's these technologies are being built here. I don't just mean on Stanford campus. I believe in the United States. And the world's most talented engineers from China and Europe and everywhere, they come to the United States even now to try to build this stuff. And my view is by building it here, that gives us an opportunity to be more productive and create something very special over the next.
Bam. Bam. Wow. This is our new Fed chair. He is pro-Bitcoin. He is pro-technology. He uses critical thinking and understands that two things can be true at once, that there can be good actors and bad actors on Bitcoin, says it doesn't undermine the US dollar, and understands the differences. And I love that he's a younger guy. Again, I'm not ageist. You guys know I love older men. Always have, always will. But I think when we're talking about politics, when we're talking about leadership, I think it's very important to have younger minds in. And the reason why is because they are more connected to the younger generations, and the younger generations are going to be directly impacted by whatever policies that they run with. So, I mean, obviously we want to get interest rates lower because high interest rates do cause inflation. Inflation is transitory. And I was on a space with Josh Jake yesterday. Good friend of mine. Love to see what he's doing. So happy for all the esports stuff that he's got going on. But we were laughing about the inflation is transitory statement because it is transitory. Okay. You can modify inflation, but when it comes to cost of goods and services, you can't really modify those too terribly much when inflation is high. And the reason why it's important to have a younger guy in office is because he's closer, he's more in touch with the younger generation. So to me, he's going to do what he needs to do for the American people. And I think it's a good thing that he understands what Bitcoin is. Now, is he going to do things that are going to directly pump Bitcoin? No, because that's not how this works. This works by people that are in office, which again, he was placed into office. He's an unelected bureaucrat because Trump placed him into office. We didn't get to vote. And we really don't even need the Fed, honestly, and the Fed. But at the same time, I like that he's younger. I like that he's more progressive when it comes to monetary policies. And I like his thought process regarding Bitcoin. And that's why. So to me, this is a win-win. Now, why is Bitcoin dumping? Well, because that's what Bitcoin does. It's a volatile asset, baby. And we very, 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 very well might still be in a bear. We might be in a bear market. I'm not calling bull or bear markets because I don't want people getting mad at me because I'm in my feminine era. And I don't care. I'm not going to have the drama with you. I'm not going to go back and forth on the internet. You can call me ugly. You can call me dumb, but I'm just a bimbo entertainer. So I think that this is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I guess let's get in. Well, this is from Polymarket. Polymarket, Bitcoin is more likely to crash below 55,000 this year than bounce back to $120,000. And you know what? We'll take a look at the charts. This is Polymarket right here, though. And this is kind of what, this is what price will Bitcoin hit in 2026. And again, I like this because it's kind of very clear and easy to hear. 5% chance we hit 250,000. And right now there's a 70% chance we hit, what's going on? Wait, am I looking at the right thing? I don't know what I'm looking at. But anyways, Bitcoin's not looking great right now. Sorry, guys. I'm like, whatever. Also, we are no longer in the top 10 global asset by market cap. We're currently ranked 11. No big deal. Crypto fear and greed index is at like all-time high. We're at extreme fear. And you guys know what that means. Also, as far as ETFs go, we lost 817 million as Bitcoin hits 9-month low. That's almost $1 billion. Okay. This is what the crypto markets are currently looking like. Pretty much everything took a hit. Now, when we do take a look at Bitcoin, and I'm only going to cover Bitcoin today because, everything's kind of slumping. I don't want to get you guys to get sad. Okay. I don't want you guys to get sad. But this is what we're seeing. This is the weekly. We broke down below support. This was going to be the EMA 100. Is it? Yeah. The EMA 100. And we actually do have, I don't know if Bitcoin will go to 55,000. I can see us bouncing off of the EMA 200 at 68,000. That would make logical sense to me. Market CIPHER shows another red dot that indicates more downside on the weekly. When we take a look at our Big Daddy Chad chart over here, this is where we got our support, which has been here for a long time, you guys know. But 68,000 looks pretty nice. That looks decent. For us to hit 55,000, could it happen? Yes, it could. And that would actually be a 55,000 would be a 55% pullback. It could. If we truly are in a bear market, yes. Yes. So that's what we're seeing on the weekly. Taking a look at the daily. Daily is not looking super strong. We do have a nice move up from 80,000, currently trading at 83,000. But again, I want to see where we close today. Not looking sexy, not looking great, not looking good. Now back into a little bit more of political stuff because again, it's important. Then we got some XRP Ripple news. This is according to the NYT in New York Times. Senate Democrats and White House reached deal to avoid shutdown. Again, this is going to change a lot. Okay, a lot. Senate Democrats reached a deal with Republicans and the White House to avoid government shutdown before today's deadline. The agreement funds most of the government for the rest of the fiscal year, which would be good. Multiple agencies could briefly lapse starting Saturday at 12:01 a.m., but impact is expected to be minimal if the deal passes quickly. The House still must vote on Monday, so it's not final yet. The deal came after the Senate rejected a $1.2 trillion House pass package on the 28th. So we still may see a shutdown, and I will have an update for you tomorrow morning when I'll be live streaming at 10:30 a.m. or 10 a.m. PT. I'm going to go do something fun, get out of the house. As Lord knows I need it. But we're still kind of waiting on this, and this could be another reason why Bitcoin price action is the way it is. As far as Kevin Warsh being the new Fed chair or nominated, whatever, I think that people are more concerned about this, really, to be honest with you, to be quite frank with you. Now, I want to get into remember we talked about the crypto market structure yesterday? 0 Democrats voted in favor of advancing crypto market structure legislation in the Senate agriculture, which sucks. They do definitely need to do better. 100% need to do better. Why should they do better? Because Bitcoin and crypto are for the people, by the people. And I actually saw a really hot take on X today. It was someone that said, because Trump launched a meme coin, the Democrats will never support crypto. And because Trump profited off crypto, Democrats will never support it. Well, my argument against that, and again, I'm not fighting with people on Twitter anymore. I don't have time for it. There's just so much. The bots are out of control. There's so many dumb takes there. I just don't care. This is the thing. Do I think what Trump and his family are doing were right with the meme coins? No. World Liberty Finance, But when you have both sides that actively participate in fraud, you have both sides that are stealing from American taxpayers, you have people like Nancy Pelosi, especially on the blue, that commit more fraud, that's a problem. So to say that the Democrats won't work with Republicans because of what Trump is doing is absurd. Because at the end of the day, these people are put into power. They're put into office to represent the people. And if the people want some sort of clarity on crypto, they need to do their jobs and they need to put their personal opinions on the side. Okay, fraud is rampant on both sides. Nancy Pelosi is one of the most popular traders in the world, always has been. Okay, so if you're going to get mad at one side, you got to get mad at the other. And at the end of the day, y'all could bicker and out the side of your neck and hate Trump all you want, but you are put into power to do what's best for the people. That's why we have a democracy in the United States of America. And again, if you're a Democrat watching, this is no shade towards you. You probably want regulation too. Okay, so write to your people and be like, hey. Just like I yell at people on the internet all day long about the accredited investor, which we'll talk about that in a minute. Project Crypto's coming. But again, we need it. Now this is from Mr. Brad Garlinghouse on the crypto market structure. And then we got more Ripple stuff. We got other things going on. Okay. He said, as I've said it before, clarity is better than chaos, which again, I don't like that he said this. And the reason why, again, you guys, I'm not against Ripple. I'm not against XRP. I'm not against that whole thing. My issue with this is that his business is for institutions, so it doesn't impact retail. And the problem that they're having right now has to do with the stablecoin yield. And if you want to get make $500 a year instead of $50 a year, you should be able to. If you want to take on more risk, you should be able to. That is the power of crypto. And Josh Jake actually brought up something really something I didn't think about, is that if we're not getting yield on the stable coins, that could actually cause a lot of damage to DeFi, because that's what DeFi is. So that'll be incredibly problematic. So again, I like Brad Garlinghouse. I think, I like what Ripple's doing. They're focusing on changing the game when it comes to institutions and TradFi. Great, fine, fantastic. I like that people have made a lot of money off of XRP, but I don't like the statement. As I've said before, clarity is better than chaos. Because it doesn't impact him, because he's an accredited investor. He's not retail, and his business services institutions. But I still appreciate Ripple giving $25 million to the Fair Shake Super PAC, which is going to go after anti-crypto public servants and support pro-crypto public servants. Okay, and it's okay to criticize about this. It is, but that's what I'm seeing over here. So I got a problem with it, and I got to call it out. Where's my over here? So that's just my little spat today. Now, CFTC Chair Slegg, SEC Chair Atkins, Team Trump readies crypto plan so Americans can count on their future. Wow, what is this? It's a joint initiative, Project Crypto, to align regulation as Congress advances bipartisan market structure legislation. The effort focuses on clear rules, so SEC and CFTC harmonization and practical implementation, so innovation can move on chain under U.S. law. Wow. Make sure I'll smash a like, push this out, help, please. This would have never happened under Harris. So again, Democrats can be mad at Trump all day long for the meme coin, Melania and Trump, and even a little bit in World Liberty Finance if they want, even though it's not directly him and his family. But at the end of the day, this would not be happening if it was under Harris. We would get another epic run and we'd be banned. We wouldn't be having these conversations. And again, you can disagree with me on that. Totally fine. Don't mind. I don't mind one bit. I don't. Anyways, moving on. What else is on the docket over here? Really quickly on this, we're going to get back because I've got some actual crypto news like Ripple and Binance stuff. But U.S. Marshal investigation claimed that son of government contractor stole $40 million of seized crypto. This is actually a really effed up story. I couldn't imagine having such a terrible child that's going to destroy the family legacy. And this is the thing. This behavior is shameful. And this person just seemed like a terrible person on the internet anyways. But apparently the theft is tied to wallets holding crypto seized from the 2016 Bitfinex hack with some funds previously returned. But apparently it was the son of a federal contractor managing seized crypto that stole over 40 million from government wallets. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And this just goes to show you not to trust anybody. Anyways, what's this? Oh, JP Morgan sees gold surging towards $8,000. That's JP Morgan, but silver dumped 20% today. Also, Trump and his two sons, Trump org sue IRS Treasury for $10 billion over tax records leak. This is an interesting story. Eventually, everything's going to be put on the blockchain, and they're suing him for $10 billion in damages. You know what I would much prefer? I like that he's doing it. That's great. But I would prefer that they sued the Treasury and the IRS for overtaxing us when our tax dollars just go to so much fraud. Blockchain fixes a lot of things. It fixes voter ID. It fixes transparency when it comes to spending. And voter ID should be on the blockchain. And public servant spending should be on the blockchain as well. Transparency. Really, really, really should. But, you know, he's got his stuff going on. And this is, I'll get back to this later. This is about Warren and AI. I might actually agree with her. So we'll come back to this. Let's come back to this. Some crypto stuff. This is a letter from Binance over here talking about market volatility and kind of everything that's going on with the markets over here. So, you know, because there was a lot of liquidations yesterday when we actually take a look at the entire crypto market. Which again, if the markets are crazy volatile like this, please do not be leverage trading. Please, 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 please. But we are actually broke. We're getting ready to tap on a low of 274 or $2.74 trillion. And this is going to be a low area that we saw 11/21/2025. And this was back 4/23/2025, but we do have lows over here back in 2025 as well. So it's not a great number, but there's a lot of market volatility, which absolutely sucks. Like really, 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 really sucks. But again, our market cap is getting a little bit smaller. We're getting smaller. We're not growing. Now let's get into some other news. And it's Friday. Comment and let me know what you guys are doing on the weekend. I want to know. I want to know. All right, let's talk about this. This is kind of interesting. Kind of interesting stuff over here. This is XRP stuff. So, I need a nap. I was up at 5 this morning. So this is David Schwartz. He's the former CFO or CTO of Ripple. But he says that rational investors do not see a realistic path to $50 to $100 XRP in the near term, or the price would already be much higher. And this is interesting because a lot of XRP Army people get mad about this. He argued that if serious smart money believed that there was even a modest chance of $100 XRP, they would have bought up supply long before prices stayed below $10. He says today's price signals that most investors do not genuinely believe in triple-digit XRP outcome. And that's pretty interesting coming from him. It's not a bad thing, but at the same time, the XRP Army is going to be mad. I got hammered on it. I get hammered anytime. I'm like $100 XRP is a lot. I mean, we would need the crypto markets to really go to trillions and trillions of dollars, like $100 trillion or something. We're not even at 3 right now. But again, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy. Doesn't mean that you can't flip. Doesn't mean you can't trade. Doesn't mean you can't do what you want to do. I'm just bringing to you what they're saying. Also, Dave Portnoy, he bought some XRP. Which this was like for him, this is the thing. He's a ding dong, but this was a smart move from him. And even though it ended up going lower because there's a lot of volatility, I don't think this was a bad move. I don't. I think that XRP will do well. I think we will see $5.89 one day, just not right now because the entire market sucks. Now, XRP millionaire wallets rise in 2026 as large holders accumulate. So it looks like more holders are accumulating. Wonderful. Apparently, this is the first uptick metric since late 2025, and this makes sense because a market is down. So smart people are buying. Buy low, sell high. And then Ripple Treasury update. So Ripple Treasury won't force crypto on skeptical clients, says executives. So Ripple recently launched Ripple Treasury. It revamped its corporate treasury platform. The launch follows a $1 billion G Treasury acquisition. Executives emphasize that crypto and blockchain features are optional, not forced on skeptical corporate clients because they care about their bottom line. Ripple argues that for willing users, stablecoins and near-instant settlements could improve liquidity, yield, and cash efficiency. Of course, they're going to try to push everything, but they're not super keen on it because they want to keep those clients. What else? Okay. Let's cover this because I don't like Warren, but I want to see if I agree with her. Because again, just because I don't like somebody, I don't like most of their policies doesn't mean I might agree with them. So Warren presses OpenAI CEO on spending committees and bailouts requests after CFO suggests government backstop. Let's read this. Should the government bail out AI companies? No. Should the government bail out banks? Yes and no. We have to bail banks out because if we don't, then everything completely gets destroyed. AI is different though. AI is taking jobs. I like AI. I use it for a lot of different things, but when it's harming Americans, that's a problem for me. So Warren is pressuring Sam Altman to guarantee OpenAI will not seek government bailout if fails turn a profit. Warren, and again, OpenAI was valued, they were valued at a lot of money. Warren's OpenAI massive, largely debt-linked spending and partnerships create systematic risks and pressure to the government to step in if AI sector fails. AI sector is not going to fail. It's not going to falter. It's not going to fail, but it might have some issues one day. But OpenAI denies seeking bailouts, and Warren argues that it could still benefit from industry-wide federal support and has asked for detailed financial disclosures by February 13th. You know what, guys? I agree with her on this. I don't like her. I don't like her any way, shape, or form. I don't like 99.9% of her policies, but I agree here. I don't think that companies should get government bailouts because when American people lose our houses, when we get laid off in 2008, when people lost their jobs and they lost their homes, did they get bailed out? No. Palisade fires, did those people get anything? No. Eaton fires, did those people get anything? No. Look at all the catastrophic events that have happened all over the country with the Hawaiian fires and stuff in North Carolina, all of that. Do people get bailed out? No. The taxpayers, the people that are funding all of this are not getting bailed out. So we want to keep it consistent over here because we're the one that's funding the federal government and everything else. Our taxpayer dollars shouldn't go to these companies. If they can't figure out how to manage it themselves, that's on them. So yeah, I agree with somebody I don't like. You want to know why? Because it's okay to say, I don't like you. I don't like most of your stuff, but I agree with you here. And that's how you be an upstanding citizen of society, I think. I don't know. Who knows? I'm going to have lots of wine tonight. I know that for sure. But yeah, that's my thought process. So that's just me. That's what I think. But yeah, that's kind of my thought process on Liz Warren. But anyways, it's Friday. I'm so happy. I'm gonna sign off because I think I'm gonna go to Costco today. So thank you for the super chat, Lawrence. Lo decided she's gonna stay with her dad this weekend, which is fine because she got in trouble this morning because that's what happens sometimes. So she's gonna stay with her dad, but I have her next weekend. I'm trying to take her. So I just have to tell you guys, my baby, she had a couple C's last semester. She brought all the grades up to A's and B's. If it was up to me, she would have all straight A's, but we got all A's and B's, especially in the hard subjects. She got an A in Spanish, a B in math, and an A in music. So 2 out of the 3 required subjects. Because for me, music, second language, math, she needs to do well in. So we got a B in math, but that's okay. She's been struggling. They're already doing long division, long multiplication, fractions, all kinds of stuff. So I'm trying to get reservations to this place that I got tickets for, and it's next to impossible. Like if you don't know somebody that works there or whatever, you won't get in. They don't just let the general public in. So I'm trying to get that situated. So we'll be doing that next weekend. Plus we got the Super Bowl. But anyways, thank you guys so much for showing up to me. I greatly appreciate it. If you guys want me to cover any specific content, drop comments or email us. We will. I just need to see what it is and can't be something stupid. But anyways, sending y'all love and light. I got to work on the second media piece coming out at 2 p.m. PT. And yeah, I'll see you guys at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Bye, babies.